Hello, welcome to day number 11, guys. And it is the morning. It's 8 a.m., it's not 5 a.m. Woke up late, and I just wanted to talk about something just a bit interesting before we get into the workout. And it's kind of like about motivation, right? Like maybe you're training for something, maybe you're an athlete, maybe you gotta train pretty religiously and pretty hard consistently, or whatever it is. Like you gotta keep your spirits up. And a lot of people talk about motivation, and motivation is just not what's going to do it. Like gotta find a way to keep yourself disciplined, like no matter what. Like right now I kind of feel like shit. Yesterday I started feeling like shit. Actually, yesterday was, for me, it's very productive in terms of getting stuff I wanted to get done, and like exercise and all that. And despite that, I had a moment yesterday where I sat down and like everything I was thinking of just kind of came crashing down, and I became very just kind of like riddled with anxiety. And I felt like I was a statue. I was like, I don't want to fucking move. I don't want to do anything. It's just everything's just hitting my head in different angles. Okay, they were hitting it from the back. They're hitting it from the front. Yeah, all different. Let me just stop whatever I'm about to start doing. Okay, look, it was crazy. Just sitting there and feeling like I could not move. I couldn't do anything. Of course I could, right? And eventually it became nighttime, and then I was gonna go to bed. Just hold on with me. This is going somewhere. I have a routine of things that I normally do right before I go to bed and right before I woke up. I kind of just like threw everything out the window. And then I woke up this morning, and then I got mad. I was like, how come I didn't do the things that I should do in the morning? Why am I not waking up on time? Why am I waking up like this? Why am I, and at the end of the day, even if you have a shitty day, you got to stick to whatever things help you get through it. I should have done the things I normally do right before bed or in the morning, but because I got upset, I took that as a license to not do the things that are good for me, right? At that rate, I'm not going to make it to 365 days of training, because as soon as something becomes inconvenient, it's like, okay, well, now it's time to give up, right? And whenever you're working towards something, you gotta just keep that in mind. Like, you're not gonna have the best fucking days all the time. You're not gonna have the best energy. You're not gonna want to do some shit. I don't want to fucking do this workout in my house. I would rather be at the gym, because the gym is easy, right? Working out at home is crazy. So that being said, today is gonna be a full body workout. Okay, so we're gonna be working everything, pretty much all the main muscle groups using resistance bands. I'll show you guys a few demonstrations downstairs of my brain's farting, of basically not using resistance bands, and I'll show you as the best I can and describe, and hopefully you guys get a decent full body training routine with minimal equipment. Okay, the only thing I'm going to be using is resistance bands, and you should be good. That's about it, I think. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, good morning. Uh, what's up, dudes and dudettes? We're going to be doing a full body workout at home, okay? So it's going to have all the very basics. We're going to do like different workouts eventually, but today's just very basic stuff. So we're going to be working, your chest. We're going to work the front delt. We're going to hit the rear delt a bit. We're going to hit the lats, okay? Those muscles right here, you're gonna hit them too. A little rhomboid action there, squeezing and all that good stuff. We're gonna be working your quads, your glutes. Okay, we're hitting some major muscle groups at home. And if you are a beginner, I think that these are some pretty vital movements. And I'll go over variations in case you don't have any equipment. Well, found the towel, but I lost my stopwatch. I found the dang stopwatch. I couldn't find it. Wasting my time. Don't know why I'm being so aggressive. But yeah, guys, I use stopwatches for my training. And a lot of people, they always look at me like, you use a stopwatch? Like, what do you use a stopwatch? How could you not use a stopwatch? Now, I know it's not an everyone thing, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you do an exercise and you wait 3 minutes versus it when you do an exercise and wait 30 seconds, the physiological stress on your body is going to be different. The thing that you're aiming for is very hard to track if you at least don't even know your rest periods, right? Like, screw rep ranges out the window. If you don't want to count them and just go to failure every time, whatever, okay? But if you don't even know how much you're resting in between, there's different energy systems that are, I mean, they're technically always active, and I'm about to go on a whole science rant that no one cares about. The point is, guys, this just helps me keep track of how I'm doing on average, okay? Even if I'm not counting every single rep, even if I'm not noting everything down, this thing has been a huge lifesaver. If you don't have a stopwatch, maybe you have a phone, maybe you have something, could very much be the difference between how effective your training is based on your goal. If you're looking to get faster versus get stronger, so on and so forth, you might want to know a little time. So first exercise here today, guys, for y'all is rows. I did these in, not the last video, the video before this one, okay? And we're doing rows with a towel. I did want to talk about them a bit. So whenever you're doing an exercise for your lats, in case you guys missed the last one, you want to pull your shoulders back and down as tight as you can, just to help activate those lats. And because I have this lovely towel, we're going to use that. Okay, now towel rows, I got to find a decent angle where I can actually lean back. And of course, the further back you lean, the better it is. Now, I know not everyone has an apparatus like this for rows, which is why we'll probably take a look at door frame rows in a second. But anyways, you're here, you pull your shoulders back and down, chest is up nice and tight, brace the core, right? By bracing the core, I'm trying to make it as firm as possible. And we just kind of apply that to everything. I'm trying to dig those elbows into that back as tight as I can. Slow on the release here. Okay, that's pretty good. Bands of any kind, you can tie them to stuff, tie them to apparatuses if you have any. I know that if you live in an apartment, it can be a lot harder. And if you could tie it to something, you can do rows on it, right? You can also, if you have somebody else in your house, hold the bands for you and then do rows that way. You could row objects like rice bags. Rice bags aren't bad. Oh boy. Okay, in terms of rep ranges, right? Like how many reps should you do? With body weight, at least, I try and keep the rep ranges high. But if I'm aiming for stability and control, which is, you know, what you're doing when you're breakdancing, you're doing something called freezes, which are like basically these positions you hold with your hands and your knees and stuff like that. You need stable muscles. I do my reps nice and slow, and also beyond that, if you're a beginner, if you're someone learning, and you need to activate the muscles properly, doing slow reps, and there's an advantage both ways. But for me, like, I'm gonna be doing reps like this probably for like a month, just nice and slow. I want to work on controlling, contracting the right stuff, and really just having that stability. So when I finally do the movements I need to do, it's a lot easier. So yeah. If you're a beginner, if you're someone new to this stuff, I'd say don't rush, don't look on your push-ups, okay? Or your rows, just, it's not a race, you know? for body weight. I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's like I go like 3 sets or 5 sets or something like that. Today I don't have that much time, so I can only do about 3 sets per exercise, which isn't that much for me. I would work a lot better with 5 sets, and that's what I'll do next time. 3 to 5 good sets as a beginner, you're probably fine. Okay. Oh. Now we're gonna take a look at the legs for a moment. I kind of want to get legs out of the way. One thing my family always told me growing up is if you eat your broccoli first, then the rest of the meal becomes more delicious, which is the upper body. And this is my broccoli first moment. I want to get the legs done first. But will I, exercise order matters, right? If I blast my shoulders and then I try and hit chest right after, is my chest going to get the same amount of development, the same amount of love as it could get if I didn't blast my shoulders? Well, the answer is like, no. Like, your shoulders are tired, your shoulders are involved in a lot of chest movement. The reason I bring that up in this case is, do I want to tire myself out doing legs and then jump into upper body? It's like, no, I think upper body is probably my focus. So change my mind. Let's do push-ups. Okay, we're gonna try and go nice and easy here. On the way down on my push-ups, I'm trying to squeeze my back, contract these upper back muscles, engage the lats a bit, keep my center nice and tight, and then just drop in there. I'm getting all nervous for 5 or 10 reps of slowness. Okay. Ooh, that hurts. Oh. I'll tell you what though, I felt good. That felt good. I felt like I was able to concentrate. I feel like I could have got a bit more tight in the midsection. Stop complaining, you little bitch. Okay. Wow. Oh man. I think I need a longer rest time. So guys, don't be afraid to regress a movement if you're just not strong enough right now. I'm not really that strong as I used to be, which is fine, right? So we're gonna do some girl push-ups, as they used to call them in my high school. I don't know why they call them girl push-ups. They're just a regression, if you can't continue. So we're gonna do push-ups here, and as soon as we're done, we're just gonna get on our knees. Yeah, nothing else to say about that. All right, here we go. going for more than 5. I can do that. Nice and slow though, so I can't cheat. Let's do some of these knee push-ups. Okay, well, oh man. If push-ups are super duper hard for you, of course you could use a wall, slant yourself against it. Oh, more off right now. There's something blocking me, but you could drop your chest in. And of course you can try and get lower on the wall. Just move your feet back. Just kind of drop your chest. Against the wall. Push away. Stand up straight. Work very, very diligently about trying to contract the right muscle groups. Like when I come up to contract my chest, I'm trying to squeeze my armpits in, rotate my hands, boom, get that big chest contraction. You look at that, boom, right? You feel it right in here, and it's nice, right? Same thing, even if you're doing a wall push-up or whatever, you want to be active in your mind, right? And yeah, okay. So we're gonna tackle a mythologically old issue for me. So what happens when you're at home and you need to work your lats? So you have like all those like pull-up bars and stuff that people use. And to be honest, I'm just gonna adjust the camera here. To be honest with you guys, I don't really like those pull-up bars because I feel like they're always gonna snap. I'm not the lightest dude in the world, so I really would prefer something safer. So I was looking up on the internet, okay, like how can I work my lats at home? And of course, like you can get some engagement while doing certain variations of rows. But when it comes to, when it comes to something like easy and accessible, there's two things that I found. I'll show you the first one. I'll bring you guys over here. The first one here, and it's like very weird. And just imagine that I have like a towel or something, and this is what I used to do before I found this new movement. So okay, worst case scenario, right? You really want to train something in your back. What I would do is I'd take like a little towel, a little slider, put them underneath, and then I would push my hands into the floor. Okay, my head would be neutral, be down. I try and engage my shoulder blades by squeezing them both back and down as tight as I can, right? And then I would push against the ground and I pull. And I try and pull myself and my body. I don't really have them, and this floor is like pretty slippery, but I would pull, squeeze your shoulders back and down, tight. Feel the engagement, and then slide them back up. And then, from there, I might do like some poses, pull it in, and they're pretty hard to do, but I would keep myself up and I would have my arms up. But that is how I would train my upper back muscles. I don't even know, can I? I can. It's just hard to get friction on the floor, but I push into it, squeeze shoulders back and down, boom. And then I would pull myself on the floor, shoulders back and down, I push on the floor, bam. And like, the movement and the feel that you're kind of going for is like, what the fuck? I know the movement. It's where you have your arm straight out, straight arm push down or something, lat push down. You know what I'm trying to say. The one where your arms are straight and then you engage the lats open and then you push down like that. It's like you're doing that movement, except you're doing it with the ground.
So it really depends on how much friction is on the floor. You might need to get something to make you a little bit less slidey. But yeah, I loved that movement. But now guys, we don't gotta do that because we have this lovely thing in our house. Again, you might not have this, but if you do, here's what you should do. Here's what I am doing now. Okay. It is not the easiest thing to use. So basically I have this here. I have like 1, 2 pillows. This is just to make things easier for me because I don't have insane strength in my body right now. But put this underneath here. Gives me a bit of elevation. You could do this flat on the ground, which is, you know. Anyways. Get my head kind of neutral. I grab this thing. Okay. I might want to slide back a bit. There we go. And this is kind of all I do, man. Head neutral. I might be a bit close. Shoulders back and down, pull. Squeeze. Again, I'm pulling my shoulders back and down. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go one more set. I'll be honest. I'll be super honest. It doesn't feel the absolute best. Because, you know, I am worried about breaking the band. And maybe that's just a sign to bust out the red one. So, goodbye, blue band. Hello, red band. See this thing here? I don't know if you can tell how thick this is. It's quite. All right. Okay. Oh, it bites back. That's good. Okay, it's not bad. try and see if I can get my elbows behind, because when I'm doing lat pull down, I'm here, right? But right now I'm stopping here. Let me see if that feels better here. I'm still experimenting myself. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, let's head down. Oh God. Phew. Okay. Most basic shoulder movement that you can do. Good one at that is literally just doing overhead press. But I did want to show you guys some other options if you don't have anything to do overhead press with. I'll show you guys now. So look, so overhead press in general, great stuff for the shoulders. But something else that's pretty good, there's two movements. One that I would say is I mean, hit your shoulders a bit, you hit your upper chest, which if you're already well versed, you already know what this is, okay? So you get up on a fucking chair, you know, you can do decline push-ups, right? Work your chest a bit, work upper shoulder. Okay, you know what, I may as well do one instead of just getting in position. Okay, you get the idea, right? So you have decline push-ups, yeah, whatever. But what you also have is you have pike push-ups and you have elevated pike push-ups, okay? So for the pike push-up, essentially you get yourself in the pike position, which is not this. I'm just very lazy, so let's get up. So essentially, from that position there, and oh boy, look at my terrible lazy posture. Gotta make sure I'm still in the frame here, but okay, so get my ass down here, and then I can just drop, right? I can drop down into a push-up with my terrible posture. Trying to even out the best I can. Man, I did not know my spine really looked like that. All bendy. Anyways, drop straight down. And push forward here in the pike position the best I can. My flexibility is really not that great, as you guys can probably tell, but essentially you kind of drop down from that upward angle from here to the floor, okay? So the further you get here, the more you can kind of drop down into it. If you can make yourself look like an A and not have a bent back like mine, good for you. You can also, when I'm a bit lightheaded, you can also do elevated, right? So if I'm here, instead of doing the push-up like that, I can bring my hands in and I can just drop. From the chair, I can bring my feet closer into an A-frame. At least I would if I was more in shape. And do pike push-ups. Oh, friends, we are a little tired. You get the idea, right? You go and do that while I just take a nap. And you might be thinking, holy shit, this guy's out of breath. Maybe I shouldn't do pike push-up variations. It's just a lot of body weight movements. It's the hand you're dealt, right? I can't think of another way to hit your upper shoulders, at least off the top of my head, other than, you know, you can do front raises with very light objects. That's a good point, actually. Hands of beans when I was like super duper young, and then I would just kind of like that, you know? And not bad way to train. But yeah, anyways, front raises, pretty nice. Now let's get on to the stuff that's gonna make you smile. You would do overhead press with these. I don't know. Okay, you can probably get my feet shoulder width apart here. Hold on. Okay, so I'm racking it here. It's not that heavy, huh? Oh, okay. So you know what? I started to feel that a bit actually. Hold on. That's not that bad. Could be worse, honestly. Little red band. Man, this red band is fighting me, huh? Do you not want to be overhead pressed? I can choose any other band. He does not want to be overhead pressed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not that strong. And then I just kind of push. I push my head through. You know, we hit the chest. We got the back, the upper back. You know, hit some of the lats down there. Okay. Hitting the shoulders. Hit the chest. You know, so far for at home, even though I'm going very, very light, not very hard today. This is pretty good. Okay. I still had more in the tank. I'm just being dramatic. Okay, being dramatic, guys. Part because I got to show you guys the leg movements, working legs at home. And if you're used to squatting, if you're used to deadlifting, if you love powerlifting, man, training legs at home can freaking suck balls. Okay, just suck. Let's go over the most obvious. Okay, you have options. You have your squats. You can do squats from anywhere. I mean, you guys have seen squat before. My squat's probably not the best, but we'll walk out here. But yeah, essentially, you get yourself out there. You know, do your best to just drop some buns to the floor. You know what I mean? Just hit chest up, shoot that booty back, and just sit down, squat. Right? Great. These, frick. Well, I gotta train mobility. Maybe that's gonna be tomorrow. But these, pretty damn effective. So I'm dropping my hips back. Right. I'm thinking that I'm sitting down in a chair. Nice and slow demo here for you. Pressing those legs out, and then as soon as I get to the bottom, I try and squeeze my butt from the bottom of the movement, and I push down and I squeeze as tightly as I can to come up. But that's really, really important. Get the visual here. Aim this down. But yeah, as I'm dropping down into my squat, as I reach that bottom portion, and you know, you're seeing my butt, whatever. Okay, get over yourself. So we're back here, and then we squeeze the glutes. Like I'm really, really focused on contracting us from that bottom portion. Okay, and a lot of people tell me, hey man, I can't feel my glutes unless the weight is really heavy. And well, yeah, heavy weight can cause the muscles to forcibly recruit, but in terms of getting a mind muscle connection, in terms of understanding the function and how to better train them for, you know, whatever it is. Maybe you want better sculpted glutes, stronger glutes, whatever. Okay, doesn't matter. Here's what's up. Okay, you gotta be able to contract them. And if you can't contract them easily, like we're gonna go over a few things, but basically like boom, throw some butt, squeeze. So from the bottom, I'm thinking about rotating my hips and my butt inwards like this. I'm thinking about squeezing a penny or pencil in between my butt cheeks, okay? And then contracting as hard as I can. And that force from the glutes helps me raise up, okay? Now, there's a lot of movements where you can see that. Also in like a deadlift kind of movement, which we're gonna do too. So like in this hinge movement here, right? I can of course just throw my back up and pull myself up. I can use my back. And by the way, that's how a lot of people get injured in their back with doing those kinds of lifts. But essentially, like, I'm here, okay, and then I squeeze my glutes. That's all I did. I just squeeze as tight as I can, and if they're functioning properly, guys, I just come straight up. So that's just a little precursor on some things you can do. So, guys, if maybe you have a disability, maybe you're not able to stand and do squats, okay, you do have some options from laying, and I want to go over one of them right now, just very briefly. Give you guys, if you guys need to pause, you can pause, but essentially, get my feet out here, right? You've probably seen this before. Glute bridge, head flat, okay, feet distance, you don't want to be too far, but you know, there might be complications or reasons that you can't get your feet close. Or maybe try and see if you can stack your feet under just about like this. You're gonna push into the floor. Okay, if you can't get your feet all the way back, don't worry about it. It's not necessary. Main thing I want you to focus on is contracting the buns, okay, the butt. So I squeeze my butt as much as I can from here, okay, and then I push into the floor, and then I try to do my best to open up those hips and come up. Okay, now this can be very difficult to get that contraction that you want to get, but you gotta focus on it. Focus. Boom. Okay, I felt it there. That's good. It means my glutes are working. Okay. If that does not work, okay, you have different options. If you have bands, okay, you can wrap bands around your feet, and then you can kind of push out on those bands as you come up, and that'll activate the sides of your glutes. Okay, now that's a whole other thing. I'm not going to really get into far on that in this video. But yeah, another option. So okay, those are the options. You have your squat. You could of course do good mornings. Shit. Oh, doing a lot right now. And we have deadlift with resistance bands. Okay, so this is what I'll be doing today. But I'll kind of show you. Okay, so we have this resistance band here. Okay, I'm gonna have to aim this towards my feet so you guys can see. Okay, so you have this band. I step into it, and yeah, I didn't double. You can actually double it up, but don't need to. I can kind of crawl my hands down here to the bottom. If I'm starting, find somewhere that's safe here. So I bend my knees, hinge my hips, pull, squeeze my glutes. Okay, so let's do a side profile here so you guys can kind of see. So what's happening? So first things first, I hinge my hips, I push my hips back as far as I can. Back, until my hands reach about my kneecap level. Slight bend, okay? I grab a little bit further on the band. Breathe in, push through the ground and squeeze my glutes, okay? So I push just until I'm about slightly above the knee, and then after that I begin to squeeze my butt, and then I finish the movement, okay? That's how I protect my back. I don't want to pull with my back in a deadlift, and that's how I'm gonna train this. Okay. All right. Okay, I feel my glutes a bit. Okay. So another movement. you can do for like hinging, you guys can do single leg deads, okay? So single leg deadlift. I'm not gonna do it with the band because I really suck at it. Single leg deadlift. So similar mechanics to a regular deadlift, okay? So hinge at the hips. I don't have enough space. Maybe I turn this way. Yeah, I have enough space here. Okay. So hinge at the hips, because remember, it's single leg, so you're gonna have one leg up, okay? Essentially what's gonna happen is you're gonna hinge. As soon as you reach that knee bend point, you can reach it. You can extend this leg for balance, okay? And if you had a bar, you'd be holding onto this bar and you push the glutes and stand up. If you keep a slightly bent knee, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Keep that hinge motion. Okay, good. Work on my balance as well. Sheesh. Man. Let's keep going. Fuck. Wow. Phew. Same thing on the other side. So I kind of grab my imaginary bar and I let it run down my thigh. It just helps me. Slight bend. Slight bend. Fuck. Can't fall over. Hell yeah, dude. Oop. Ooh. Yeah, this movement is not easy, guys. Even for me. So, even for me to be balanced, like, it's hard. It's hard. Highly recommend just doing like, if you can't do single leg deadlift, just do the glute bridge, guys. Do the glute bridge if you can't do the single leg deadlift. Because similar, you can add bands to it. You can, and I didn't show that today, but showed you the very basic version. Hey. All right, last exercise, guys. Last exercise is gonna be, it's going to be single leg squats. So, hitting our last muscle group here. This workout is gonna train your whole body, but the last thing is squats. I showed you a demonstration of squatting movements, but what I'm gonna do today is single leg assisted squats, very assisted squats, using these pillows. These pillows are here. Essentially what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna try and stabilize, drop down on one leg, and stand back up, man. That's it. That's it. It's gonna be single leg movements and stuff like this, and balance is gonna be super important for, you know, if I can actually get around to dancing and break dancing and competing eventually someday. You know, the hope is that I get there, but you know, you never know where life takes you. Things could spiral. I could get hit by a car. I don't know what projections life has. Probably not though. Switch legs here. Right, okay. So, there's some unseen things that I'm doing. I'm not really explaining. So if you've never done single leg squats, or like, you know, most leg movements, like even if I was doing regular squats, like there's some things that I just do. I don't think a lot of lifters are doing, even if you're pretty intermediate or advanced, that help with stabilization, right? So I have pretty good control over my little dorsiflexors. This little muscle here, it's good as alive. I haven't trained them in a long time. But like, essentially what I'll do, if I can just, my face. Essentially what I'll do is like, as I'm dropping down in the squat motion, I'll kind of like use that muscle to stabilize the ankle. And then, you know, as I'm doing that, I try and grip the floor, right? I grip it like this with my big toe and my pinky toe. It's something that I learned from a YouTube channel called Squat University. Great stuff. But I basically try and stabilize my ankle and my foot. I try and allow my knee to get as much knee over toe mobility as possible. And what I mean by that is I allow my knee to like drift forward as I'm descending, and then that allows me to keep my foot like close and generate more force from the bottom. But yeah, as I come down, right, like I do have like a weird stance. My feet are externally rotated to a degree. But anyways, I drop down, right? As I'm dropping down with my little toes, you can't even see, I'm trying to grip the floor, okay? And let's just do a squat. I grip the floor as much as I can. I think that's my range of motion right now for what I have, and I can feel my feet, my heels raising, which means I'm not in a comfortable position just yet. But anyway, let's drop back down. Grip the floor with my toes. Come down here, slightly shifting to one side. It's okay. But yeah, keep my toes down. You don't see them raised. Alternatively, guys, if you can't do that and squats are really hard for you, you could just literally do this. If this is necessary, get up and sit down and practice the motion of standing. If you're somebody who has an injury, if you're someone who might be elderly, like that movement itself is good to practice, because you don't want to prevent not being able to sit or stand on your own. Anyway, I'm gonna get up from my chair with one leg. Have this little thing here to protect me. that's it. That's it. So, final thoughts, man. I got up this morning wanting to forget, wanting to quit. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to record. I didn't want to. I don't want to do this. I don't like it. I don't feel this way. Blah, 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 blah. Do I need my little milkies in my little bottle? You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fucking baby. You know, I really want to, you know, make cool videos for you guys. I really want to, you know, be on YouTube and keep creating, and you know, it's going to be a long journey, and I'm just glad, I'm very fortunate that I can even try and even do something this silly. And you know, I'm glad for, you know, all of you new people who started watching. Thank you so much. If you want to subscribe, helps a ton. If you don't, just stick around. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments as well. Other than that, that's full body, guys. That's full body at your own house. We hit pretty much the major muscle groups, you know, chest, back. We hit, you know, those movements. We're going to be hitting stuff like our quads, hamstrings, glutes. You know, we really got the muscles that we were intending to hit. And yeah, we're gonna show a different movement selection next time. So stay tuned for when I drop that video. But most likely the next video is gonna be like yoga or stretching or something like that. I'm very immobile. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.